I am super happy right now, guys, because I made $100,000 last night. I've made $500,000 trading Forex over the course of the past 7 months. And in my free Telegram channel, I shared this trade live. I'll put a link in the description in the pinned comment. This is just where I've been calling my trades live for years. I put this right here. CHFJPY is ready to drop. And I also made an analysis video here on YouTube like 2 days ago. For those of you who follow my channel, showing that I was in this trade. I was in a short position. I was risking $100,000 and she ended up working. She dropped from the resistance zone. Super, super simple, super easy for me. And now the account has grown from $350,000 to $842,000. So almost $500,000 of profit in the past 7 months. And that's after fees and commissions too. This account's actually at $842,000. So I just got about 2 more really nice trades to get the account to $1 million. I'm going to withdraw $500,000. About $200,000 will be capital gains tax, leaving me with $300,000 cash so I can pay my bills and support me and my wife and my dog.
So you can support this trip to Aspen that I'm planning right now.
Oh, yeah, my wife's booking a trip to Aspen right now. And so, yeah, so that's basically going to wipe out all the profits I've just made. But, I'm going to go ahead and get into it here in this video. I'm going to break down the reasons I took this trade as well as, trade I'm going to get into right now in the trades for this week. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So why did I take this trade? Well, I already shared the analysis in the last video, but I'm going to break it down for you again, okay? It's really, really complicated. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to lay this out, so just pay attention. All right. Price on CHFJPY on the daily chart got into the resistance zone here, and so I sold with a stop loss above the zone and a target below, and I risked $100,000 on it. That's the whole trade. That's the whole analysis. I buy it support and I sell it resistance on the daily time frames. That's basically all I do. I use a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio for every single trade. Whenever I lose a trade and I start to lose a trade, I try to get out a little bit early before the stop loss. So my losses are like maybe 1/3 of the way to the stop, half the way to the stop, sometimes 2/3 of the way to the stop. And every now and then the stop loss gets triggered. But when I have a winning trade, I try to hold those winning trades to the take profit. So even though I'm only right half the time and I'm wrong half the time, on the amount of times I happen to be right, I make a little bit more on average than what I lose when I'm wrong. And that is how I'm able to, with every single trade called live and documented in my Telegram and my Discord server, every single one of these trades I've taken since October of 2025. We're now in June of 2026. Every single one of these trades over the past 7 months has been called live in real time with full updates, P&L analysis, everything. It's perfect. It's just so sexy and it works so well. And now what I'm going to do is, since you now know the reason I sold at resistance on the daily charts, the same shit I've been doing for years, I'm going to show you a trade that I'm looking to get into. Basically, I mean, it might not be right after this video, but it's going to be probably at some point tonight or tomorrow morning, depending on the price action. But it's a sexy, sexy trade. It's called Bonnie USD, my wife. I'm going to go long on my wife. I'm going to go really long on my wife. No, I'm just playing. So I'm going to get into a GBP JPY trade. So let's look at it right here. So GBP JPY is setting up basically just how CHF JPY was setting up. Now, you see this zone right here? Price bounces resistance here, and then here, and then here. Okay. We broke above, came back, fell, and tested the zone as support. And then we bounced right here before then falling back below, testing this region as resistance a couple times, and now we're back here deep into the resistance zone. So I'm still watching price action to kind of see what we do here. A little closer look here at the 15-minute chart. Price is kind of just going sideways, but we may be starting to trickle down with some lower highs here. Actually, I should probably getting into this trade right now because it's such a great risk structure. So let me show you exactly how the trade's going to look. And by exactly, I'm going to give it to you 90%. I'm going to give 90% of exactly what I'm going to do. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. No secrets, at least not too many secrets. I'm going to be entering here at this resistance zone. Let's go ahead and be realistic. Say with spreads, we get filled a little bit lower. I'm going to put my stop loss above this resistance zone, which will be right about here. I don't usually put it too close, and I don't usually put it too far away. I put it somewhere where it's just right, which for me, that's not too close, that's not too far. It's a pretty reasonable place to put it. It's about 150 pips away from the entry. Then after I do that, I drag my take profit to about 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. And now I'll be getting into a trade that it looks something along the lines of this. And so what's going to happen? So there's going to be a couple things happen. So after I get into the trade, here's what's going to end up going down. If I enter and then price starts to do some shit like this, where it goes down and then it's like, oh, just kidding, bro. And it comes back up here and then it goes back down again. And then we go back up here and then we go sideways and we start doing this bullshit. I'm just going to close the trade right there. I'm going to say, nope, I'm going to get the hell out of the trade. I'm just going to close it because it's going to be going sideways and it might not work out anymore. If I enter this trade and then immediately after I enter, it just starts pushing back up and breaks this little recent high, I'm probably going to close right there if it breaks the high. And how far will that be to the stop? Maybe about a third or maybe a fourth of the way, just depending. So instead of losing 100K, I might lose like $25,000 to $30,000. I can live with that. If my average win is like $100,000 and my average loss is like 20, 25, 30, 40, 50 grand, I can live with that. Okay. So if that happens, then that's what will occur, right? I'll try to get out of the trade. And then if we start going into profit, we will start going into profit. And then as it gets here to this next low, this set of lows with that support zone where it's bounced before, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep holding it because it's not to the profit target. Okay, cool. So then what we're going to do is it's going to come down here, but then we're going to get to that low right there. So support zone where price bounced really hard, super crazy. My profit target's below that. But once it gets to right here, that's probably going to be the spot where I just keep holding it because it's not to the profit target yet. And then what we're going to do is it's going to come all the way down here and it's going to get to that 1-to-1 risk reward ratio profit. And that right there, my friends, that is going to be the place where I keep holding the trade because, I mean, who knows, guys? Couldn't it run all the way down here? It could run like another 1,000 pips to the downside, 778 pips. Obviously kidding. I'm going to close there, or it's going to get closed for me at my take profit level at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. So I'm either going to lose 100 grand on this, or more likely, I'm probably going to like break even or a small profit or a small loss. And best case scenario is it just starts to fall immediately after I enter. And what I mean by that is immediately is like a day or two. We're on the daily chart. So as long as we can get like a daily candle starting to come down pretty quickly, that'll be good enough. And I'll be looking to get out of this trade. So that's what I'm looking for, is just to sell and to let things go down. Now, a lot of people think that if you're trading the higher time frames like daily and weekly, the trades take forever. Here's why it doesn't take forever for me and for the people that follow the way that I've traded. It doesn't take forever because you are not trying to be a hero and catch the next 10 billion pip move away from the zone. You are just trying to catch that small little predictable move that occurs whenever price gets to a zone and just bounces away a little bit. Why does it bounce? Who the hell knows? Who the hell cares? Honestly, you cannot predict where fundamental events are going to go. You can't predict economic news events. You can get great news for a pair and then it ends up dropping to the downside. You can get horrible news and you're like, oh, that should drop the pair, and then it ends up going to the upside. You can use technical analysis. You can draw all sorts of bullshit on your chart. There are many times in the past I have drawn very phallic images on my chart and yelled at you guys here in this YouTube video. So many times. I mean, yet it still worked out. So your little stupid drawings on the chart and my little stupid rectangles and zones and risk reward and arrows, it doesn't mean anything. All that matters is that we're just doing two things. You guys have been following me here. A lot of you guys have been following me for a long time. So please forgive me for having to say the same shit over and over again. Okay? You don't need to be taught. You need to be reminded. So the two things are you have to keep things simple and you have to control risk. Even my wife knows it. She doesn't even trade. She just swipes my credit card, and then even she still knows. You know, our insurance is expensive. We're paying like $3,000 a month in insurance.
All I do is swipe a credit card.
No, you don't. You do a little bit more than that. But so with this right here, all I do is price gets into this zone, and then it's either going to go up or down, and we're just going to assume it's 50-50. But the idea here is that we get into a trade. We use support resistance as a way of structuring risk. And of course, it's just so simple, right? It's a black background with white candles and then a rectangle with a line drawn. We don't even need that shit. It's a rectangle and a line. I don't know how to make it any simpler aside from just blindfolding yourself and flipping a coin. But then that wouldn't be simple because you would not be able to see the coin because you are in fact blindfolded. So we will look at these little stupid damn charts right here, and with black and white candles and buy at support and sell at resistance. That's what I'm going to be looking to do on the CHF JPY trade. Let me actually show you how long this what was it? CHF JPY trade took. So I'm going to show you right here wherever I entered it. So let's go see where I actually entered. So NZD-JPY, here we go. I've entered a sell on CHF-JPY. So when was this? Let's go back here. 5/29/26. So that was Friday, May 29th. The market closed Friday. We're now Monday, June 1st. This trade took from 8:30 a.m. Friday morning to now, what was it, like basically just sometime during London session last night on Monday. This trade took, I mean, let's just call it at about like 24 trading hours, because that's basically how long it took, because the market's closed for the weekend. We're not looking for any crazy moves. Like, here's the analysis right here when I shared at 8:39 a.m. I shared a screenshot of my TradingView analysis. It was deep into this resistance zone. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. All you got to do is enter a sell, put a stop above, target below. This is what it looked like, the exact trade on my trading terminal. And you can see there was a $50,000 risk there initially. And then what I ended up doing is I got into 2 positions on it to increase the risk to $100,000. But I'll show you that here in a second. So I've entered a sell on CHFJPY with a 50K risk. They started to develop this and that. NZDJPY, she broke above the zone to this other one. And then I started to lose this one. Tried to add to it. That didn't work out. So I ended up liquidating that position. Then here's where I put, so this was Friday at 10 a.m. So like an hour and a half later, I added another entry to CHFJPY here. 50K additional risk. Thus CHFJPY is now a net $100,000 risk. I'll be monitoring her closely to see if we see bearish momentum fail to continue. That was what it looked like on Friday around 10 a.m. $5,000 profit. The account was at, look at that, $771,000 in balance. So then I closed NZDJPY. So I closed that other one that I was in. I already discussed this in the last video. The market opened. I was still holding CHFJPY right here. So this was yesterday at 6:46 p.m. So this was Sunday night, yesterday. And then this morning we wake up, and I woke up kind of late this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't go to bed till like 1:30 a.m. last night. I was sleeping here on the couch. My wife's boyfriend was in the bedroom with her, and he didn't leave till really early, and I guess I've passed out here on the couch. But I finally got to go and crawl into my bed and get a good night's sleep for like 7.5 hours. Woke up at 9 a.m., and then this is what happened. Price had fallen there, and look at this, was one daily candle. That's Friday's daily candle, which was the previous one, and then this is the current day's daily candle, which just closed like an hour and a half ago. But this is what it looked like this morning when it had fallen. So it fell to the profit target, no open trades. Account balance went from 776 or whatever to $842,000, and then this is the current rolling P&L. You'll notice that even when I take losses, right? GBP USD, that was a $60,000 loss. But then when I have winners like NZDJPY here last week, that was a $100,000 winner. Then I got into NZDJPY again, and this is the one that I lost that I showed you there. This was a $27,000 loss. Not that big of a deal. Then I have CHFJPY, $100,000 winner. This is how I'm able to grow accounts from like $350K to $842,000 over the course of about 7 months. And this is how I do it live, because I'm not here hiding behind TradingView pretending to know how to trade. I'm over here actually calling out every single trade live. Every single time-stamped update for every single trade I have taken on this account, every single day for the past, whatever it is, 7 months, 8 months, whatever it is, has been called right here in Discord. And if you join this Discord server, it's a subscription group where you can follow my exact trades. You can scroll back through the history and you can see everything. We can go all the way back here to a random point. I'm just scrolling somewhere random. Let's see where the account was at on 420. So 420.26. Let's see where the account was at. Here it is. 277,000 with the equity at 329,000. This was on a bad losing streak, and I got crucified for that. People crucify me when I get on losing streaks. Actually, not so much anymore, but still, there's a group of people that crucify me. And then when I get on winning streaks, one of two things is true. There's either crickets and nobody celebrates, or a few people are like, hey man, this is really nice, we're really excited, and I get praised and people bow before me and they kiss my bald shiny head of truth and justice, and they get blinded by the chrome dome because our future here is so bright with our trading. And so that's where that was at. Now let's go back, let's scroll forward to some random spot. Okay, 512. So 3 weeks after that, let's see where the account was at. 770,000. And then we go through all this month. Let's scroll to another random spot. Where was the account at here? 594. So we went on a losing streak. Now it was back to 600. And then now we scroll all the way up to where we're at right now. And where we are at right now is the account is at $842,000. Through all the ups and downs, through all the win streaks, through all the losing streaks and break-even periods, and then my wife cheating on me with her boyfriend in the same house while I sleep on my couch, I still have the honor and respect of doing it live, because I refuse to not do it live. I mean, it's really not hard for me to do it live. Like, trading doesn't take me that long, so I just...
The only way you do it is live.
I've always traded live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live, folks. Believe me, we're going to do it live right here at the Oval Office. But a lot of people, don't like to talk about it. They say, Nick Sean, you don't trade live. You really suck at trading. It's so sad. And I'm like, let's see you grow an account, folks, from $350,000 all the way to $842,000. Let's see you build Trump Tower, because my wife knows all about my Trump Tower. Believe me, I'm giving her that Trump Tower, and she's saying, deport me, daddy. And I'm over here like, believe me, folks, it's so incredible. It's just so tremendous. Oh, God. How does he talk like that? You're still looking at Aspen places?
I am. Now I'm back to Miami.
Oh, Lord. Those are,
Just keeping options open.
Those-
If you bail on me.
those are some hefty monthly rates. That's a daily rate? Holy shit. Whoa.
Trading. Don't worry about it.
Keep trading.
Don't worry
It's not
about
going to matter if I keep trading. We're going to be losing all the money. I'm going to have to be worried about, like, man, you know, those hotels debited quite a bit from my account, babe. I thought that was for the whole stay. And they're like, no, that's the daily rate, Nick. And I'm like, oh, I gotta really keep my shit together here then. I'm trading. I'm paying all these stupid taxes. I'm paying all this insurance. And then I'm getting like shafted by these hotels and resorts. Wow. Okay, guys. Well, now we really got to focus on trading now, because we're getting shafted by the hotels, charging us insane daily rates that are looking like your monthly mortgage payment on a house. Okay, so we're going to go here to, we went GBP JPY. I'll be looking to take this right after this video, and then CHF JPY, and then GBP CAD. Here's the trade for this week. All right, so over the past 3 days, price has pushed up close to this resistance zone. I'm waiting for price to get into here, and then I'm going to be looking to sell. Very, very simple. It's not hard. Okay, there's my zone. There's my alert. I posted this in Telegram. I gave you guys a freaking quiz last week, a long-ass quiz. Took the time out of my day to sit down, and this is all my free Telegram channel, link in the description and the pinned comment, where I gave you guys a full quiz, complete with explanations, where you can click right here, and then, oh, it just shows it here now. Yeah, so it shows the explanation right there, and then you see you got another one. Is buying GBP JPY now a good idea? Oh, let's see. Let's go see. Let's click this. No, because she's at a major resistance zone in the beginning to bounce downwards. Better to look for sells. So about 20% of people selected yes, it's a good time to buy, which was wrong. About 80% of people said no, which was the correct answer. And 1,300 people answered. So you guys are, you guys are pretty engaged in there. It's pretty cool. I'm happy to be posting here in Telegram for you guys. I'm happy to be able to give you guys value and be able to help you guys in your trading journey. So anyway, that's all in Telegram. All this will be posted live in there. But I'm looking to sell GBP CAD at that resistance zone. Keep you guys updated in Telegram. AUD/USD, she's going sideways around these regions. I'm still looking to sell at this resistance zone or buy at this support zone. We're going to see what happens. AUD/JPY, I was looking to sell at this resistance zone, but I think GBP/JPY is a little bit better of a trading opportunity right now. So I'm just going to be focusing on GBP/JPY because she's deep into this resistance zone at a make it or break it point. And I think I'll leave AUD/JPY alone just for right now. Euro/AUD. I'm waiting on her to fall into the support zone that we've been waiting on, my God, for weeks. Like, this is since the beginning of May, or the first week, so maybe like 3 weeks or so. If she falls here to the support zone, I'll be looking to buy. It's a pretty good trading opportunity. Euro/GBP, I've been waiting on this since she ignored me last week. I texted her right here, and she was 3 pips away, exactly 3.6 pips away from my alert. She ghosted me. I was like, Euro/JPY, baby. I'm ready to trade you. We're going to make billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars, folks. And she didn't get into the alert, so I couldn't buy. So I'm waiting on a push deep into this zone where I can get in right along all these little lows here. I think that'll present a great trading opportunity. So let's see if she can get in there, and then I'll buy. I'll put a stop below and a target above, risk $100,000, and hopefully pay for this stupid trip to Aspen, where we're going to hang out with a bunch of rich people hiking around the mountains. Don't put your hands on me. I don't need your sympathy. I'm going to enjoy this vacation as much as I can, because this Euro/GBP trade better pay for this shit. All right, NZD/JPY. This is the trade I lost $27,000 on. I sold up here, popped above the zone. It was like, however, like a third of the way to the stop loss. I ended up adding to this, hoping it would bounce. It looks like it did in fact bounce. So it wouldn't have actually gone and hit the stop loss above these highs. So actually this one I would have negated the loss and to break even. And then that trade up there that I added would have won $17,000 because I added to it. And this is what it looked like. This is the cool part about being in the Nick's Trades group, guys, is you get to see all this shit happen live. You get to see all the dynamic moves. And that's really what's important in trading. Trading, you're not going to be profitable by a system. There's no black and white mechanical trading approach that's going to make you profitable. If you believe so, try to program it into an algorithm like the hedge funds that spend billions of dollars and the smartest people on earth. I mean, billions of dollars and very smart people to some degree who program these algorithms and automated trading approaches and EAs to be able to execute this stuff live and profit from small little movements in the market a million times a day. If you think you can do that, then go do it. chances are, if you're watching this YouTube video of me yelling at you, you're probably not, a member of $1 billion hedge fund that is going to be doing something like that. So your only edge in manual trading on the retail side, like people like you and me, at least most of us, maybe some of you here are licensed financial advisors watching my content. If so, I don't know why the hell you're watching my content. You should just go tell people to buy the S&P $500 and then invest with you, and then take a fee and commission like you always do off of their $100 million net worth. And then you can just live off the fees and commissions while just buying the S&P without telling them they could just go do that themselves. But if you're on the retail side, you're just trying to make a buck like you and me, then you will look at something like this and say that whenever we get into NZDJPY, I'm not even going to lie, guys. I get so triggered by financial advisors, I don't even lie, that I just forgot what the hell I was talking about. It's so, okay, so okay. I remember what I was talking about now, guys. Okay, so if you're on the retail side, what I was going to say is your only edge in manual trading is your discretion. And so here's the point I was trying to tie in. Trying to sell my stupid service here in Discord. The point I'm trying to make is by seeing things play out live by someone like me who has had 1 decade of degenerate trading live here, in my Telegram, my Discord channel, seeing it happen live and seeing these decisions and seeing, okay, he added to it here because it started to bounce. He ended up risking a smaller amount here. And then if it goes down, what he'll be able to do is he'll be able to get into this and then profit from that and then break even on the first position. Those very dynamic trade management decisions, all laid out step by step. Look at this shit right here. You can pause the video and you can read all this. Step by step, everything's laid out. This is what gets you profitable trading, okay? And I say that, I guess I have to say also, it's like, that's just my opinion and it's all subjective, and trading is risky and most people lose money, and you're probably going to be losing money trading. So you should probably just go give your money to a damn financial advisor. Oh my God, this world is so effed up. So trading's risky. Most people lose money. Yes. But what I'm saying is that I share all this shit in real time live so that you can learn through experience. And I'm convinced that the best way to learn how to trade is by getting experience, seeing this shit happen on a day in, day out basis. It's not like a course. Anybody can sell you a stupid course. I don't even sell a course anymore for this exact reason. The only product I have is just come pay. You can watch me trade live, and I'll just post all my trades here in a Discord server, and then you can learn from that. And if you want to copy the trades, cool. If you just want to learn from it, that's cool. This is like it's like basically a trading journal that I use for myself personally that you can pay to have access to, where every single thing is in real time. And it's simple, it's straightforward, and it's the same shit I'm teaching you here in my YouTube videos, and the same shit I'm posting in Telegram because all the analysis is posted there. And by learning through experience, it helps you develop that price action context discretion, right? It helps you develop that subjective discernment of the price action that can help you make decisions in real time, such as closing a trade early, or adding to a winning trade, or adding to a losing trade, or decreasing the stop loss distance, or setting the stop to break even, or adding to a winning trade and then moving the stop to break even for the initial position, but then letting it run for the lower position. And then if the first one gets stopped out, then that's break even, but you still have basically the same trade because you added really quickly with low risk. There's all these different dynamic things you can do, right? It can't be taught in a course. It can't be, anybody can just make a course to say, bro, you're going to buy at the trend line, bro. And then on the golden zone Fibonacci, get that shit out of here, man. Get out of my house, woman. Anybody can do that. All I'm saying is that is not what makes someone profitable. There's no black and white systematic absolutism like approach that doesn't require manual trading and discretion of someone looking at the chart and saying, okay, based on my experience trading, you're using your applied experience and it generates this intuition, this discretion that you then use to then make a decision that is unique in a kind of almost magical way, but there's nothing magical about it at all. It's an intuition, right? You do something enough times, like in my case, thousands of times, you end up getting like this gut feeling and kind of this feel for it that's very difficult to put into words. And it pisses a lot of people off because most people, what they want to hear on YouTube? They want to hear a guru who's making billions of dollars per day trading tell them, oh, it's easy, bro. All you got to do is you just got to trade my moving average strategy. And it's just $50 for my course, bro. You make $1 million a day, bro. And it's just stupid because like the thing that's going to get you profitable is not learning a black and white system. It's learning experience, like getting applied experience that's useful, and then learning things in real time so you can make these subjective decisions. You can make decisions like this that end up long-term being a net basket profit among all your wins and losses, accounting for all the losing streaks and break-even periods and win streaks. So With that is NZD-JPY. That is why I got out of that trade and ended up dropping, though. I might be looking to get short on this again, but honestly, I think GBP-JPY looks a little bit better, so I'll be waiting for that. USD-CHF, I remain looking for longs here at this support zone. I've got an alert there. We're going to be waiting. NZD-USD, I remain looking for shorts at this resistance zone. We're quite far away. This could take weeks to get up here, right? It could be a couple days. It could be a couple weeks. But I remain looking for shorts there at that resistance zone. GBP NZD, if price gets down here into the support zone, I'll be buying. I covered this in the last video. I did have a zone right here, and I've got a couple clients looking to take right there. It didn't really get all the way to the tips of these lows, but if anyone bought here at that zone and it bounced, I'd probably be getting out by now. I'd probably be getting out. You've got this real sloppy support resistance zone in here that I wouldn't be using to base trading opportunities off of. But if you somehow were able to get a buy down here at that low, and now prices popped up into here, and you're looking to still hold the trade, I don't know. I'd probably close the trade. But like in any case, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to fall from somewhere in this region, right? Maybe we go up a little higher and then fall. But I'm waiting to see if price falls, and if we fall into this support zone here, I think this is a beautiful place to get into a trade for GBP NZD. We've got a resistance zone here. It's a double top. There's a resistance zone. Popped up support, 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 support. Have a little bit of leakage on these wicks right here, but we can always account for that by just dragging the zone a little further down. Tighten up the top just a little bit. So, but this presents a really great place to control risk. And I'm going to show you why. We really have to keep this zone wide enough to just account for those highs over there. So here's why. Okay, if you buy at this zone right here, right, you're going to be putting the stop loss just below the zone, right? So just like right there, like that's all you need. Okay, guys, you ready? All right, 1 to 10 billion risk reward ratio. Just kidding. You don't want to put it this close. Remember what I said? Not too close, not too far. Just right. Just somewhere far enough below the zone where if it breaks a little bit, you're not going to instantly get stopped out. You have some time to manage it. And then the take profit then goes at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, which in this case happens to be right there. Now, I know some people are going to look at this and say 400 pip stop for a 400 pip target. I thought you said you don't use like far take profits and far stop losses, bro. Because Nick, but you said, bro. Here's the thing. You set the stop loss and the take profit visually based on the technical setup on the chart. You do not do it in terms of pips. What may work on Euro GBP or USD CHF, you know, or another pair that just has a smaller average pip movement and a smaller average daily range, that might work to have like, you know, 50 pip stop loss on one of them, right? But for this right here, if you were trying to put a 50 pip stop on this, you can't even get the stop loss below the damn zone. It looks like the joke I made at the beginning of this, where that's a 54 pip stop. That's 50 pip. That tiny move right there is 50 pips, right? The GBP NZD is just a pair that, you know, relatively recently just moves quite a bit. This doesn't work. I mean, you can't, even if you enter down here, you really want to put a stop loss right there, just below the zone. What if price just has a little bit of a whack below the zone? And what if it doesn't even come there to begin with? What if it comes and then it bounces like up here into the zone where it's bounced most of the times before? And then now you've missed the trade because you were trying to get your 1 to 10 billion risk reward ratio. Stupid. It's not something I'm going to be doing. I'll be buying at the zone, putting a stop below, target above. Don't worry about how many pips the stop loss is. You then, once you figure out where the stop loss is going to go, you then adjust your lot size to risk whatever it is you want on the trade. You risk $100, $1,000, or you can be like me. If you really want to be like me in my shitty cuckold life with my wife and her boyfriend in our bedroom almost every night, because I'm almost losing money all the time. I make a little bit of money here and there. If you really want to be like me, then yes, you will have to risk $100,000 per trade. But please don't be like me. Just risk $100 or $1,000 at first, especially if you've only got like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K to trade. Not financial advice, my friend. This is just entertainment. Here's my only financial advice to you. Be financially responsible and consult a licensed financial advisor so that they can take a percentage of your already tiny returns and get no better returns than the market. That's what the US government says I'm required to say. You should consult a licensed financial services provider like a financial advisor before placing trades in any market, and you must understand the risks. So you go do that. You just go pay a financial advisor and give them a percentage of your squeamishly tiny returns in the S&P 500 index, which is okay, by the way, if you just buy it yourself. You don't have to go through a financial advisor. But I'm legally required to tell you have to, which you should. Because, I mean, that's what the government says I have to tell you. You have to go get it, consult a licensed financial services professional. I'm not licensed. I'm an idiot. I've been doing this for 10 years. I've been doing this for 10 years in March, April, May? No, it's June. 10 years and 3 months I've been doing this.
Long enough.
Too long. I'm getting old. I'm getting joint pain now. I'm getting joint pain, and I can't believe it's been 10 years I've been doing this. So anyway, I'll be looking to buy here on GBP NZD if we come into the zone. That's what I'm looking for. Hopefully all that makes sense, and hopefully that explanation makes sense about stop losses. All right, that's Euro JPY. We're pretty far from this resistance zone. I'm going to wait. GBP AUD, I am looking to sell if we get here into this resistance zone. I think personally this resistance zone is really clear. A lot of people, they've made the argument, look, it's broken through here, then it broke back above, and then it broke through here again. It's just not something we can rely on. That's perfectly valid. I have nothing to say to be at contentions with that. But shit, to me it looks pretty good though. I like it. There's also another kind of a random zone up here, but it's really, if you really want to be safe, that zone up there is the best you can get. But how far away are we from that zone? It took from March of this year to, where are we at now? Down here. So to April.
It's June 1st.
It's June 1st, so it took from March, April. So, this is about 1 month of price data for it to go from the top to the bottom. So for us to we'd have to get back to here and then go up, and it might take like a month if that happens in the same time. From down here, it happened March 18th to March 27th. So like, maybe like, 8, 9, 10 days to get from here to up there the first time. That's kind of far away though. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert there just in case that happens, but I'll probably get stopped out of this one first if that occurs. I think it's perfectly reasonable to take this trade right in here. We bounce this support, bounce this resistance, support, and then resistance, resistance, resistance. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be a good trade. And if not, I'll get stopped out on it. I'll cry for like 5 seconds, and then I'll wait for it to get up here into this resistance zone where I can sell, where we can place the real trades at, the real big boy trades. We're going to risk 100 billion, trillion, million, gazillion dollars here at the resistance zone if we get up into there. I think this is a good trading opportunity if it gets up here into this first one, and I'll probably risk maybe 50K on that. Stop above, target below. If it starts moving into profit, I'll add to it. If it starts going against me, I'll try to get out early. And then if we get here into this resistance zone, I'll probably risk $100,000 on this one. That would just be a pretty nice setup. We get into resistance and maybe start to bounce. All right, USD Canadian dollar. Same setup remains the same. Baby, sometimes I feel like I just annoy myself because I have been talking about this USD CAD trade since back here. So this was at the beginning of April. So it's the beginning of June. It's been 2 months. I've been like, all right, guys, we're waiting on USD CAD.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
You're on.
And some people still dare to say that I don't trade live. I'm like, we've been planning this shit for 2 months, bro. It's been over 2 months. By the time if it gets up here, it will have been like 2 months since the last, because we took a trade here and this one worked out really nice on USD CAD. You could go back in here to the beginning of April, the end of March, into the Nix Trades group, and you can scroll all the way back there to see where that trade was and how we did on that. If you get here into the Nix Trades group. By the way, to join the Nix Trades group, I post links in Telegram periodically. I posted one today. It's this one here, missionfxtrading.com/NixTrades. And that you click that link, and that allows you to subscribe to the groups. That way you can join in here. But yeah, we took a USD CAD trade, and that was 2 months ago. I'm getting blue balls waiting for this one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a really good trade. It's a really good resistance zone. Watch it come up here and just snap above it and completely be a loss. But I do think it's a really good trade with a really good risk structure. We've just bounced here so predictably and so consistently over time. I'm not using these highs over here just for reference. I'm using these right here. I think this is a little bit more fine-tuned of a zone. What would the trade look like? Something like this: a short position at the resistance zone, stop loss above the zone and above that recent high right there, and then a take profit right there. That's such an easy move if it bounces, right? That's one big if, of course. But if we get a sell right there, I might make the target just stop loss just a little bit bigger and then take profit down here. And this happens to be about a 100 pip stop for a 100 pip profit target. But that's just like a little nudge away from the zone. How long did it take last time? Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 132 pips. It took 4 days for that move to play out. That's why when people are like, Nick, you use the daily and the weekly chart, bro. It takes too long, man. The trades take weeks or months to play out. And I'm like, I mean, sometimes it takes a week or two, yeah, but most of the trades I'm in take a couple days. Like legit. Like go and look through it in the Discord server if you join the Nix Trades group. You can scroll, you can make a freaking spreadsheet of everything to try to figure out all the stats. As a matter of fact, anybody who wants to go into the Nix Trades group and make a spreadsheet of it, tracking all the results, do it and then show me the results and send it to me. Make it like a Google Docs, and then we can make a video reviewing a bunch of really weird stats about Nix trades. We might find some really crazy stuff about how Nick Sean screams that he never trades CAD CHF, because I don't. But then you might find in here, it's funny. Nick says he doesn't trade CAD CHF, but CAD CHF was his number one top traded pair and the pair that like most of the profit came from, even though he doesn't trade it. You might find some creepy, spunky shit about Nick Sean in there if you go and track all these trades and make a spreadsheet trying to track like the average time a trade took to play out. You could probably do a really nice spreadsheet of that. If any of you feels like taking the time to do it, because I sure as hell don't, and my team has got so many other things on their plate to manage, they don't want to be doing that either. Yeah, do it and then send me a DM with the spreadsheet doc. That'd be cool to see. USD Canadian dollar, cool. So we're gonna be waiting for that, and the rest of them I don't have anything set up. None on GBP/USD, none on AUD CAD, none on CAD JPY, none on Euro USD, none on USD JPY, none on Euro Canadian dollar. I still remain sitting in here in Solana. This shit's tanked. This shit has tanked more than spending a month in Aspen. It's just tanked so hard. My average price right here is about 138. So if we get back up here to 138, where'll that be? Right there. About a 60% gain is what needs to happen for us to get there. I think it'll happen at some point. We might be having another dip down, though, honestly. I hope that doesn't happen. I actually don't think that'll happen. But then again, I have a big financial interest in Solana USD, so I really hope it doesn't. But I mean, what if we do some shit like this, like back in the day in 2022? I think we're getting way too much institutional interest for this to crash another 90% from where it's already down from this high over here in 2025, September of last year. We're down 68%. I think a 70% drop is good enough. As I wipe the proverbial figurative sweat from my forehead, I think it's a big enough drop right here. So if we run all the way back up here to say 240, this would be 241 right here. That would be pretty insane. 200% growth. So that would be basically like tripling the money I have in it, right? Yeah, because 100%, if it's 100% growth, that's doubling. So 200% growth would be tripling. So I'm going to do a little math here. These are just random numbers. These are just random numbers. This is just something. Holy shit, $3.6 million. Yeah, you go ahead and book us in Aspen just for the rest of our life. Okay. Actually, with $3.5 million would probably last maybe like a year in Aspen. But I don't know. I'll probably do pretty good if we get up. Realistically, though, I'm probably going to sell off some of my position if we get back to 138 because I think we might be having like a bounce. Somewhere in here, we might just stop and have a temporary pullback. You can see Solana blew off really hard last year, and then Solana blew off. She blew me off last year. She really did actually blow me off with this big drop right here. It was really stupid. But as we pushed up, see right here, we had a 160% move up. Then we had a crash here, like almost 50%, right? It's 41, 42%. So I think we might see some sort of a drop if we get back up into that region. For sure, this region around like the scary 180 to 200 range. And then if we can somehow make new highs and get all the way to 300 and higher. I mean, we briefly hit 300 in the beginning of 2025, almost a year and a half ago. Damn. It feels like just the other day. 71% down from that. I think Solana, though, I'm just making pure speculation. I just have so much Solana that I just really hope she's going up. I understand hope is not a strategy. But unfortunately, I have no other strategy other than YOLO. HODL. Please, let's go up at some point. Realistically, though, we know that Bitcoin's probably not going to go to zero. Probably, most likely. We've got way too much institutional interest. We've had these big boom and bust cycles since I've been following crypto since 2016. I've been following crypto. So all the way back here, I remember all this shit. March of 2016 is when I got into trading, way back into here. And we saw it go up right here. 1,800% into 2018. Damn, I remember all this shit. I remember this crashing. I remember the pandemic crash. Yeah, March of 2020 crashed here. I remember all this run up in 2021 until like the summer. We got 1,000% run up. I remember this crazy crash here as we went through 2022. I remember when she found her footing, and I remember this bull run. I remember this bull run right here, guys, like it was just 2 years ago, because it was 2 years ago. I remember when Trump got elected, and then those few days in that week that Trump got elected, end of 2024, all my shit started skyrocketing. I made so much money last year from crypto, and I've given back like basically half of it from holding as things have dropped. But I'm going to make it all back and so much more, folks. I'm going to make billions and billions, so make sure you stay subscribed and be sure to hit the like button so my wife doesn't keep cheating on me with her boyfriend in my bedroom. I'll see you in the next video, folks.